Symboli Rudolf, also known as the Emperor, is a 3-star trainee specializing in turf tracks at medium and long distances in either the front runner, pace chaser, or late surger positions. Rudolf was born to the dam Sweet Luna and sire Partholon on the 13th of March 1981, with his grandsire being Milesian and dam sire being Speed Symboli. He was bred and known by Symboli Bokujo, trained by Yuji Nohira, and jockeyed by Yukio Okabe, before passing on the 4th of October 2011. Rudolf was born the fourth foal of the leading sire Partholon and Sweet Luna, a daughter of the farm's own Speed Symboli. Their first 3 foals had difficult temperaments and limited success on the track, with the best result being Symboli Friend's victory in KO High Spring Handicap. Yet farm manager Tomohiro Wada chose to breed the pair a 4th time. The resulting foal was Rudolf, who bore a crescent moon-shaped mark on his forehead, stood on his own within 20 minutes of birth, and was affectionately nicknamed Luna during his time at the farm. Rudolf began his 2-year-old season with a maiden victory on the 23rd of July 1983 at Niigata Racecourse, where jockey Yukio Okabe marveled that the colt had covered a 1,600-meter race as if it were only 1,000 meters. After additional training at Symboli Bokujo, Rudolf returned to Mura Training Center and won the Icho Stakes on the 29th of October, with trainer Yuji Nohira similarly noting that he had run a 2,400-meter race like it was only 1,600 meters. For his 3rd start, Nohira bypassed the prestigious Asahi High Sansai Stakes in favor of an open race held on the same day and track as the Japan Cup. A deliberate choice meant to demonstrate to the international racing world that Japan was capable of producing exceptional racehorses. Rudolf won that race as well, capping an undefeated 2-year-old season that had already marked him as a horse of rare ability. His 3-year-old season in 1984 was defined by his rivalry with Baizen Nishiki, whom he defeated twice en route to becoming the first horse in JRA history to win the classic Triple Crown while undefeated, with jockey Yukio Okabe adding 1 finger to his trophy ceremony gesture after each crown. Following the Triple Crown, Rudolf entered the Japan Cup in poor health and finished 3rd behind Katsuragi Ace and Bedtime, ending an 8-race win streak, but he rebounded the following week in the Arima Kainen to beat Katsuragi Ace by 2 lengths and set a record time. That victory made him the first JRA horse to earn 4 crowns in a single 3-year-old season, with Okabe raising 4 fingers at the award ceremony. Rudolf finished the year with 6 wins and 1 3rd-place finish, earning the JRA's Horse of the Year title. The 4-year-old season began with a dominant 4-length victory in the Nikkei Show, followed by a 2.5-length win over Sakura Gaisen in the Spring Tenno Show that made him the first horse to earn 5 crowns since Shinzan, though a shoulder injury canceled his planned trip abroad to the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes. After recovering, he narrowly lost the Autumn Tenno Show by half a length to the 13th favorite Gallop Dyna, despite a late start and unfavorable post position, but rebounded to win the Japan Cup in a heavy track condition as the first favorite to ever do so, producing the first ever 1-2 Japanese finish in that race. He closed the season with a 4-length victory in the Arima Kainen over that year's Double Crown winner, Miho Shinzan, becoming the first horse to win back-to-back Arima Kainen since his grandsire Speed Symboli, with Okabe notably not raising fingers at that ceremony. With 4 wins and 1 second-place finish, Rudolf was unanimously voted JRA Horse of the Year for the 2nd consecutive time, only the 3rd unanimous selection in the award's history. In 1986, Rudolf traveled to the US as part of owner Tomohiro Wada's plan to race abroad, though disagreements between Wada and trainer Yuji Nohira over scheduling left the horse without his usual stable team, with Nohira having to fund his own travel to watch. Rudolf's only race of the season came at the San Luis Rey Handicap in Santa Anita, where he finished 6th after developing desmitis in his left front leg from crossing the track's characteristic dirt strip, a result that Okabe had feared after noticing unusual behavior during training. The injury ended any plans for further overseas racing, and all of Rudolf's career losses had come on left-handed courses. He was retired at Nakayama Racecourse on the 7th of December, wearing a bib bearing the number 7 and a crown to represent his 7 career crowns, with Okabe in the saddle one last time as the horse ran freely left and right. Rudolph's personal relationships in-game also reflect some of the horse's IRL relationships. Tokai Teo is extremely close with Rudolph in the game, to the point of idolizing her, which is likely due to IRL Rudolph being the sire of IRL Teo. Though they never met IRL, Rudolph and Airgroove are likely close due to their similar nicknames, with Rudolph being Emperor and Airgroove being Empress. Mr. CB and Kasaragi Ace are heated rivals of Rudolph, as Rudolph closely competed with both IRL in multiple races. In-game, Rudolph enjoys telling puns and jokes due to her wanting to have a less threatening image to her underclassmen. Also, because Global can't read, if you ever actually watch the damn cutscene, you'll see that Airgroove doesn't hate Rudolph's puns, she just hates herself for not getting it immediately. Rudolph's racing uniform is based both on her nickname, Emperor, and her jockey silks. She wears a white ruff around her neck, along with a white shirt, underneath a dark green double-breasted with 10 buttons jacket that has 7 medals which are symbolic of her IRL horse's 7 G1 crown wins, a golden sash, aiguillette, and epaulettes over top her green jacket, red cape attached to her left shoulder, a belt around her waist with a large silver buckle, white gloves, patterns on her sleeves similar to a golden laurel crown and horseshoe above the gloves, a green skirt with cream-colored inner skirt, earring on her right ear, white hair bang across her forehead in reference to the IRL star, black thigh highs with the same golden laurel pattern, and black strapped high-heeled loafers with gold clasps. In her festival outfit, Rudolph wears a white sarashi underneath her beautifully adorned kimono, obi, keikogi, and tabi. Her kimono is adorned with a dark blue starry sky on the edges that have a border of gold, as well as white into deep red gradients that have multiple colors of momoji leaves, a faded green inner part, dark red and blue obi with chrysanthemum and gold ribbon at the front, white tabi with brown platforms, and red and gold ankle coverings, and a gold earpiece around her right ear with blue rope around that. Rudolph is voiced by the incredibly talented Asuza Tadakoro, who also voices Fino Bloodstone in Yu Shubu, Kiriko Shikishima in Ultimate Otaku Teacher, Asuza Sasaki in Sound Euphonium, Kaoru Seta in Bang Dream, Mei in Quadruple S Dynazenon, Eri Amakazari in City the Animation, Shizuka Mogami in Idolmaster, Phoebe in Grand Blue Fantasy, Cruz in Texas in Arc Knights, Jericho 941 in P22 in Girls Frontline, and Haruna Kurodate in Blue Archive. When raised to 5 stars, Rudolph starts with 106 speed, 111 stamina, 101 power, 118 guts, and 114 wit, with a 20% stat bonus to stamina and 10% bonus to wit. Her starting aptitudes are A on turf and G in dirt tracks, E in sprint, C in mile, and A in medium and long distances, B in front runner, A in pace chaser and late surger, and C in end closer positions. Festival Rudolph, when raised to 5 stars, starts with 101 speed, 107 stamina, 110 power, 110 guts, and 122 wit, with an 8% stat bonus to speed and wit, and a 14% bonus to stamina. She has the same aptitudes as her base version. Rudolph starts with her unique skill, Behold Thine Emperor's Divine Might, which makes it so that when Rudolph passes 3 or more Umas in the final corner of the race or later, her target speed will increase to 0.45 for 5 seconds. When at Limit Break level 5, Rudolph has the innate skills of Professor of Curvature / Corner Adept, which makes it so that at a random point in a random corner, her target speed increases to 0.35 for 2.4 seconds with a 30-second cooldown. Dominator / Tether, which makes it so that in medium distance races at a random time during the late race, all other Umas not on your team in front of Rudolph have minus 0.25 speed for 3 seconds. Pace Chaser corners, which makes it so that at a random point in a random corner, her target speed increases to 0.15 for 3 seconds. Subdued Late Surgers, which makes it so that in the early race, at a random point, all Late Surgers not on your team have minus 0.01 stamina drain effect. And Preferred Position, which makes it so that if she's in the front half of the pack while running as a Pace Chaser in the mid-race, she instantly recovers 0.015 stamina. Festival Rudolf starts with her unique skill, Arrows Whistle, Shadows Disperse, which makes it so that when another Uma is trying to overtake her while both are in the front half of the pack in the final corner or thereafter, her target speed increases to 0.35 for 5 seconds. When at Limit Break level 5, Festival Rudolf has the innate skills of Fall Frenzy / Fall Runner, which gives her plus 60 speed and power when running in the autumn. Calm and Collected / Stamina Despair, which has her recover 0.055 stamina instantly if she's in the front half of the pack during the second half of the early race while running as a Pace Chaser. Pace Chaser Straightaways, which is the same thing as Pace Chaser Corners, just with straightaways. Straight Descent, which increases her acceleration to 0.2 for 3 seconds at a random point on a random downhill while running as a Pace Chaser. And Inside Scoop, which increases her target speed to 0.15 for 3 seconds when near the inner fence in the late race while running as a Pace Chaser. For Rudolf, your career objectives will be: place first in the Junior Make Debut, Junior Late June, Turf 2000 meters medium. Place 5th or better in the Saudi Arabia Royal Cup, Junior Early October, Turf 1600 meters mile. Place 5th or better in the Satsuki Show, Classic Early April, Turf 2000 meters medium. Place 5th or better in the Tokyo Yushun, Classic Late May, Turf 2400 meters medium. Place 3rd or better in the Kikuo Show, Classic Late October, Turf 3000 meters long. Place 3rd or better in the Arima Kainen, Classic Late December, Turf 2500 meters long. Place 3rd or better in the Tenno Show Spring, Senior Late April, Turf 3200 meters long. Place 2nd or better in the Japan Cup, Senior Late November, Turf 2400 meters medium. And place 1st in the Arima Kainen, Senior Late December, Turf 2500 meters long. If you want to get Rudolf's unique epithet, Emperor, you need to win the Satsuki Show, Tokyo Yushun, and Kikuo Show while not losing once, win the Japan Cup and Tenno Show Spring, and win the Arima Kainen twice. When selecting Legacy Umas, you can go a number of ways depending on how you want to run your Rudolf, as she's capable of being any of the 4 running styles, in mile to long distances. My personal logic is to have 2 speed, 2 stamina, 2 wits for a front runner or Pace Chaser build, while using a 2 speed, 2 power, 2 wit deck for late surger and end closers. Without selecting specific parents to make her a front runner or end closer, I tend to run Rudolf as a late surger, with parents that have unique skills to allow easier passing or increased acceleration in the final corner. My personal go-tos for parents are one of these 5: Rice Shower, Base TM Opera O, Biwa Hayahide, Super Creek, or Majoro McQueen. All have some affinity towards either Pace Chaser or late surger positions, and some affinity with medium and long distance races. Rice and Hayahide's unique meshes well with Rudolph's, as both have to do with passing in the final corner or later. Same goes for Operas, as passing other Umas puts you close to them, which allows it to proc. Creeks is great when you're running a Pace Chaser in longer distances, and McQueen helps you from being passed after passing others. For support cards and skills, again, it depends on how you run your Rudolf, specifically in the context of the Trailblazer scenario. Personally, and keep in mind that there are supremely more meta decks out there than what I'm using, and I've mostly been skirting by on S-ranked Umas in the low, I think it's 13,000 to mid 15,000 range. Personally, I use a deck of SSR Kitasan Black Speed, Super Creek Stamina, and Fine Motion Wit, and SR Shinko Windy Speed, Manhattan Cafe Stamina, and Marvelous Sunday Wit for Pace Chaser Rudolf, and SSR Kitasan Black Speed, Marvelous Sunday Power, Fine Motion Wit, and Nice Nature Wit, and SR Shinko Windy Speed and Nishino Flower Power for my late surgers. I've been mostly able to consistently get around, again, 13 to 15k S ranks using either of those decks, completely dependent on RNG. Skills, again, it really depends on how you run your Rudolf, but passing is going to be a big part of the build. So skills that allow for easier passing and navigation, skills that keep Rudolph's stamina up in those longer races as a pace chaser, and just straight up acceleration. Hell, you can even run Rudolf as a debuffer if you want. Just make sure you have high wit for all of these for getting skill procs and making sure your Rudolf doesn't get blocked in. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter and Blue Sky for updates, and please check out my other Arknights and Azure Lane videos as well.